Kempire is brought to you by. First off, thank you guys so much for always supporting any way that you can, from liking videos, sharing our content. But most importantly, what we need you to do is rate our podcast. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. This will take us to the next level. This will allow us to show up on other pages and homes that aren't currently following the Kempire Podcast. As you know, here in the Kempire Podcast, it's not just a regurgitation of all the other things that you get on other platforms. We have special episodes, special content, exclusive content to the Kempire Podcast. If you are just listening to this for the very first time, take some time out of your day and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And let us know what you love about the Kempire Podcast. Thank you in advance. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. What's going on, YouTube? What is going on? Just when I'm like, I don't have anything to talk about tonight. And then I'm like, oh, no, I do have something to talk about. We got to talk about Tia and Tamara and the rift that's happening in their lives. Hold on, yeah, I'm going live on Instagram as well. Who subscribed to my podcast? Who subscribed to the podcast? I've been uploading. I uploaded like 3 new episodes for you guys. So be sure to check that out if you haven't checked it out already. What's going on? I'm going to have to be switching back and forth, seeing what you guys are saying and doing. What's going on, everyone? All right. So, I just did a video talking about Tia Mowry and Tamera Mowry and their relationship and what's been going on in their relationship. And honestly, I really haven't even thought, I haven't made it personally a big deal in my own life. All right. I haven't made a big deal in my own life. Okay. I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Instagram, that might be on you. Can everyone else hear me on Instagram? Just saying. All right, we'll give people a moment to get into the room. We'll give everyone a moment to get into the room. Thank you, Lemon. Okay, so you guys can hear me. All right. MJ says, I heard it was a political party related. I don't think it's that. Because Tamara's husband has been a Republican since they got together. So I don't think it has anything to do with political parties. I think initially we all thought that, but then I don't know. I just watched the first episode. Of Tia's new reality show where it's sort of her next chapter, my next chapter. And I don't know. There are some parts to the reality series that makes me go, oh, I can see how someone could benefit from this and can relate to this. And there were some things that came out in it. I was like, okay. She knew a few years into the marriage that it was over and that it wasn't working. But I think a lot of people can relate. When they say a few years, are we talking 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years? They were married for a long time. Who knows? But when I first saw the story, you remember, I'll play the clip for you guys so you can be reminded as to what exactly Tia said in the trailer. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up what she said in the trailer. So this was the trailer that was released by WeTV, okay, in regards to Tia's new reality show.
Family dynamic of having a mom and a dad in one household. And when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer.
Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
And look, I didn't think it was a big deal. Siblings grow apart. I think a lot of people expect these two because they started their career together. They're twins. They expect a lot of them in regards to them being close. But I was like, fine, you grow as an adult. Twins or not, they're still individuals. But she said it. And for me, it was the backtrack. So right after that, we covered that. Right after that, Tia released a statement saying, oh, what I meant by that is that we live far apart. But what about the phone? You can still pick up a phone and be in contact with your sibling or your family or a friend, whatever. Fine. And it's interesting though, I'm laying out all the information for you guys because to me, based off the information that we have, there definitely seems to be some sort of rift. And I'm going to get to the bottom of it. No, because you remember, Tamera found out about this reality show when we all did. And look, I might not be close with a sibling. However, if I've done a reality show, doesn't necessarily mean that that sibling's going to be in the reality show. I can understand maybe if she's not a part of her everyday life, and maybe Tamera doesn't want to do that. However, you didn't tell Tamera that you were in a reality show, and a lot of you in the comments were saying, and you're mentioning Tamera on the reality show? Christy says, there is a rift, and that's okay. The rift is Adam, Tamera's husband. I think a lot of people assume that, but I'm starting to think that's not it. Okay? So let me just play for you the clip of Tamera. She was on the red carpet speaking to Entertainment Tonight, and she said this.
Tia is living her life right now, and Tia is doing Tia.
Tia's returning to reality TV.
I know. I didn't know until I found out with the rest of the world.
Any chance we'll see you on there?
She didn't ask me. So I take that as... No, she's like, this is my story. Right. And, I can only respect that.
Are you and Adam trying to set her up on any dates or anything? Are you guys playing Cupid at all?
I feel like she doesn't want any of our input right now. And I can only respect that. So I think she is doing her.
You know her better than anybody, so
I'm respecting that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, because we have gotten to know Tamera a little bit more personally, not personally, but based off of the reel. And I don't know about you guys, Adam aside, her husband, I liked Tamera on the reel. It really gave us a different side of her because we never really got to know that personal side. But if you watch the reality show, you got to know a little bit about Tamera. But it was nice seeing her on the reel, even though I didn't love the reel itself. But I liked her on the reel. Okay. So she said that on the red carpet. She handled it better than Tia's handling all the interviews that Tia's been doing. But Tamera found out when we all found out that her twin sister, has a reality show and she's not a part of it. And the interviewer was like, are you going to be on it? And she's like, no, she never asked me to be a part of it. But I will say it's not as if Tia hired some actors to be a part of it. Because I did watch the first episode of Tia's new reality show. A lot of people that are in it are people that she's known for a long time. And she's talking about therapy. Like, I don't think it was a bad show. I definitely think it's worth a watch, especially if you've been through what she's been through, a major breakup, a divorce. There are some interesting moments. They're focusing a lot on that awkward hug between her and Corey on the red carpet after they divorced. It was a little awkward. But the way that she's like, everyone's spinning everything about our relationship and the headlines are saying this and that, and they're so wrong. I think for Tamera, and I think her friend said this in the reality show, Tia is not used to being criticized by the media. She's not used to it because we all have always said, we love Tia and Tamera, sister all the way. She's not used to it. Oh, you know what? Teeth on Instagram says, no shade. I love Tia, but I want to have a time with Corey. Well, now you can. He's single. look, and now you go slip into those DMs. They're both single. One of the things that I did see on the reality show, the first episode, they had like a psychic person come through. And that's where we found out that a few years into the marriage, she knew that it wasn't working. But she also said that Tia's going to get into another relationship and she might have another child. And based off a clip I saw, Tia says that she would like to possibly have another child. Okay. All right. But remember, like Corey, her ex-husband was her first of everything. First person she slept with, first boyfriend. She was with him during her formative years. So she could be out here fighting and bopping. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. Good. Go thought and bop before you settle down, Tia. You spent all your formative years being in a serious relationship and in a marriage. So go thought and go bop. and that's why when I see people criticize her having a good time on Instagram, I'm like, just leave her alone. All her formative years were being a wife to this man. She wasn't even happy with this man. Let her live her life. I don't really care about anything like that. What I do care about is the fact that she's trying to gaslight us. Like we didn't hear what she said on this reality show about her and her sister. We heard what you said, and we know what you meant. Well, she did an interview with Entertainment Tonight, and I didn't think anything of it. Literally, I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't until she did the interview with the Associated Press that I said to myself, Tia. And you really had, again, for those that are watching on Instagram and those that are watching here on YouTube, go watch the video that I did talking about this, because I show you the video and you get to see her body language. Right now, I'm just going to play you the audio, but you can see her body language. And the body language, if I wasn't a body language expert before, I am a body language expert now. Okay. So she did this interview with Entertainment Tonight this week because she's on the promo trail. So she was asked about, everyone speculating on your sister, you and your sister are no longer close and blah, 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 blah.
You talk about your sister on the show.
Yeah, she's just not as accessible, but I literally just talked to her yesterday.
Okay.
She is a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Her children need her. She is also a wife. Her husband needs her. She's in a different place in her life. She wants to do her thing, and I'm doing my thing. It's the same thing even with my brother. We were doing movies together, 17 again. I think the reason why people tend to go there is because our careers started together. Mm-hmm. Just like any sibling, like everybody goes off to do their own thing, and you want them to. You want them to be individuals and to fly solo. So there's nothing, harmful in any of that.
There's nothing. Look, I think we as a community got used to them being individuals. Tia went on to do the game. Okay. And then Tamara went on to do the real. So we're at this particular point. Yes, we know that they're twins, but we can now probably see them individually. So I felt like that response was a very PR response that she gave to Entertainment Tonight, because yes, I think we all understand that you learn and grow and that as you become adults, sometimes you're not in the same place. You have your very separate lives, but you are the one who put it out there. And then we found out that Tamara didn't even know about your reality show. Okay, you spoke to her yesterday. Why didn't you speak to her before this reality show was released? Because I'm pretty sure as an executive producer, Tia also saw the trailer. So you didn't think to maybe mention to your sister, I do mention you a little bit in the trailer and in the first episode. But I will say this. I think based off of a show about your next chapter, I think people would have assumed that your sister would have been in it on some level, even if it's a FaceTime call. So there's no FaceTime call with your sister during the season? Oh, no, there isn't, because your sister didn't know that you were filming a reality show. Cameras are in your home filming a reality show. And look, she probably also doesn't tell her sister about every job that she books. All right? Christy says, Kempire, let it go. Laughing out loud. Adam is creating the rip. I don't believe it's just Adam. Remember, Adam has been in their lives for years. I don't know if it's just that. People do grow apart. Okay? Kismet, that's not what we're saying here. Kismet says, you guys act like you don't have siblings and have tiffs now and then. That's not what we're saying. It's the whole denial of the tiff. It's the denial of like, we're not in the same place. It's the backtracking, the backpedaling, and it's the multiple interviews since then. Because when it first happened, I was like, okay, whatever. People grow apart. People have issues. However, it's the interviews that Tia has done that makes us go, maybe you need to speak with a PR person on how to handle this, because at this particular point, it's like now we feel like there is something going on, and it's not just some sort of little, tiff. T says, maybe it's a little bit of Adam, but if people watch the reality they had years ago, the problem is with them. So, because I haven't watched that in years, okay? I haven't watched it. Winter says they beefing. So I literally said, I need to look up this clip. And as I'm watching the clip, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember this scene. Let me play this scene for you guys. And this is from T and Tamara's In Style Network reality show. Okay? Hold on.
In her little diva mode. Okay. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. How am I in my diva mode? Because you just because I feel like we didn't finish our conversation. And
Yeah, but why do we have to have it here? Because after this, I want to go home.
Okay.
So you got out what you wanted to get out over there. So
I didn't.
yes, I know.
You did.
Tia, thing is, you stepped down, Andrea picked it up, and now because she's done everything. What do you want? Because this is your day, this is your wedding, and that's all that matters.
I would like a matron of honor and a maid of honor.
No. My ego did step in. I was like, excuse me? Like, I'm her sister. I did not want to share the title of maid of honor. Do you remember Jessica, who's my best friend, wanted to be my maid of honor so bad?
Yeah.
And she was hurt because she was not my maid of honor. But I said, family comes first.
I understand it, but this is a completely different situation. The difference is at your wedding, I didn't step down. When I was Tia's maid of honor, I was there for her 110%. So I expect.
So Tia stepped down. You remember, I'm playing a scene from the In Style Network reality show, and they're fighting over the fact that Tia stepped down from being Tamara's maid of honor. And now she wants to be a part of it. And now she's like, well, I already have someone that's been doing all the work and really stepped up for me and is really there for me. And now what? Okay, let me continue playing.
Same from her. But I said family comes first.
I understand it, but this is a completely different situation. The difference is at your wedding, I didn't step down. When I was Tia's maid of honor, I was there for her 110%. So I expect the same from her. When you said you didn't want to be the maid of honor, Andrea has stepped up. Andrea has done a phenomenal job. Do you know what we're doing at my bridal shower?
She hasn't even communicated with me.
Tia, that's because you don't want to be it.
No, that doesn't, just because I didn't want to be the maid of honor.
That's the difference.
Doesn't mean that Andrea shouldn't have communicated with me.
It's because you said you didn't want to do it. The thing is she's worked damn hard.
No, they're
when
both
you
crying.
said you didn't want to.
All right, Tamera. All right.
And the thing is I did want a matron and a maid. God, that's not good. That's just going to wipe off the makeup.
Well, you know what, Tamera? Like I said, Jessica was very devastated. She wasn't my maid of honor. So it'll be Andrea maid of honor. She's in.
Pause. I as soon as I saw the scene, I was like, oh my God, I remember this. I remember this like it was yesterday. Do you think ever since then, these two haven't been the same? Sometimes in families, during funerals, during weddings, during these little moments, it could change your relationship forever. It could. I don't know if it did, but look, they're sisters. They'll get over it. Or maybe they won't. There are some family members, in your own family that you're probably not talking to someone right now. But for me, it was the whole gaslighting of it all. It was the whole doing these interviews. You're doing a reality show. Just own what you said in the trailer. Own what you said on this reality show. Own the fact that you didn't tell Tamara, that you were doing a reality show. Just own the fact that you guys aren't close. And then talk more about it in season 2. Yes, maid of honor gate. I almost forgot about that. Because a lot of people were saying, oh, it makes sense why they wouldn't be getting along. And because you remember how Tia was on the reality show. And I was like, I can't remember how Tia was on the reality show. And then I found this clip and I was like, oh, because it feels like Tia, in a way, what's the word? I'm not sure the right adjective to describe Tia, specifically in this particular moment. She seems selfish and she seems like she's hurt now that she's not the maid of honor after she stepped down. Remember, she stepped down. Someone asked, where's Taj? Taj literally, I think Taj spends time with both of them in any way that he can. Taj is working too. Taj works too. He still works. Lisa says that Tia is very selfish. Winter says Tia just wants to twerk. You know what? Christopher says they were very codependent. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm not a twin, so I don't know what that life is like. So, Sweet Toy says Tia was pregnant. Was she pregnant at this particular time? She did look a little, but still, she didn't use that as her an excuse. Roxanne says, hold on, let me read the tweet. Roxanne says, Tia was heavily pregnant. I would have given her the honor without expecting her to bend over backward for me. And as a best friend, I wouldn't accept the role if it caused a rift between the twins. Well, I mean, you wouldn't accept the role if your best friend asked you to do something. I don't know. I can't come at the best friend for that. SW said, I know you guys are pointing out that she was pregnant. Mind you, in this particular point, she doesn't point out that she was pregnant. Chrissy says, I'm a twin. I understand, but even if you aren't a twin, you still have to be fair. Daphne says she was pregnant and very selfish. It was the first time I looked at Tia with a side eye. I felt so bad for Tamara. A lot of people have said that. However, I kind of wish in this particular scene, she would be like, the reason why I stepped down. I don't know if she shared it on the show. I can't remember that far back. I already have too much information in my brain. But I mean, I could understand her stepping down because she's pregnant and she can't do all the things. But she also wasn't willing to be a matron of honor in the wedding. I mean, here's the thing. If it was me, look, I've never been a bride. However, if it was me and my sister was pregnant and I was the matron or I was the maid of honor, I would have made her still the maid of honor, but gave my best friend all the hard work. And my best friend would have understood. Christopher said, Brad maid in Nene voice. Ms. Mellon Magic says, you will be one day. I'm not trying to be nobody's bride. Talulu says that Tamara was asking a lot. Roxanne saying, that's my exact point. Back in the, hold on. The comments are moving very quickly. Guys, if you're just joining us, be sure to, those that are watching on YouTube, be sure to like the video. We have over 1,100 of you watching here. Shout out to all of you watching on Instagram. We appreciate it. Jamie says, I hate being a bridesmaid. Never again. I mean, based off of what I've heard from like my girlfriends in regards to their weddings and the bridesmaids and the drama, it really, like, these types of situations can change your relationships forever. I know of a friend who had a wedding a couple of years ago, and literally it changed her whole friendship dynamic with some of her friends. One of her closest friends, she's not even close with anymore. So that says a lot. So it wouldn't shock me that if we stem back all the way to this particular scene with Tia and Tamara, it wouldn't shock me that they were never the same after this. Because the example that I just gave you, those two friends have never been the same since. Hey, Rhonda. Rhonda says, hi, Kempire. I'm so happy. I'm never able to catch your lives. Today is my good day. Yes, Rhonda, I appreciate you being here. Sophie, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your generosity. Guys, you can also like the video. That's very easy. Shout out to those that are watching on Instagram as well. Follow me on Instagram, those that are watching here on YouTube. Sophie says, Tia settled for Corey. Damn. And when Tamara married Adam and found her soulmate, Tia was jealous. And it's not easy to see someone with your face having what you want. True love. See what Tia said. I mean, when you say it like that, I mean, it's very dramatic. It's very dramatic. But that actually kind of makes sense. Especially if you're watching the reality show. I just watched episode 1. I'm in the middle of watching episode 2. She knew a few years into the marriage. She admitted in the episode, the first one, that she knew that this wasn't going anywhere, that she had made a mistake. A few years into the marriage. I don't know what a few years is to her. 7 years, 2 years, but she stuck it out. Thank you, Ms. Kavi. Don't forget, guys, to if you haven't already, subscribe to the Kempire Podcast and give us a 5-star rating. 5-star rating. And if you are in London, I have an announcement tomorrow. Who's in London or who will be in London. I have an announcement tomorrow. Stay tuned. I have an announcement tomorrow. All right. Durant says, we all settle in some way. No shade. Do we? Is that why y'all with people y'all don't love? Do we really settle in some way? Do we really settle? Do we really settle? Damn. AD says yes. Peaceful Way says yes, we settle. I don't know about y'all. I'm not settling. Okay. Foxy says settle or compromise. That's a good question. Mrs. Dash says I didn't. D says not all of us. I don't see me settling. AD says nobody's perfect. But I think that's the thing. If you are asking for perfection, then it might come across that you're settling. I'm not looking for someone to be perfect or someone to complete me. So that's why I wouldn't consider being with someone as settling, because then I don't have that bar of, oh, they have to be perfect. On My Way to Happiness, love the name. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate the support. You know what I mean? If you have high expectations and you expect people to be perfect, then you probably will end up settling. Then you'll probably end up settling. I don't consider myself settling for anybody, or at least in my mind, consider it settling. Rhonda says, we settle for some things. You will never get exactly what you dream of. Well, maybe that's the problem. Jesseline, thank you so much for the super chat. It's none of my business, but tell us. You know. I mean, I also wonder what Corey thinks about this reality show. I wonder what he thinks, because she's talking a lot in this reality show, and she doesn't necessarily make him look like a good guy. Hey, Rita. Yes, Rita. Tomorrow, a big announcement. Big announcement for London. Kim, did you ever settle in a past relationship? I don't consider it necessarily settling. But then again, I'm not with those people. So did I really settle? Just say, did I really settle? Thank you, Rita, for buying a badge on Instagram. SW says he said that he will not talk because she's the mother of his kids. Yes, I did see him say that, but it's also in their divorce settlement. And she's not really dogging him out. She's really telling her side. She's really telling her truth. But I don't know if I was in his place, if I would love what I would be hearing on this reality show. Julie, thank you so much for the super chat. Julie says, I'm one of 11 and we go back and forth who we like and don't want to be friends with at times. I find out about things going on with other siblings by others. Yeah, but Julie, if your sibling was famous and they were doing a whole reality show, would you find out from the trailer? Let me be honest. If it was me, yes, some of my siblings will probably find out from a trailer. Some of my siblings will probably find out from a trailer. But luckily, one of my sisters is like, can't hold water. So I already know before the trailer drops, everybody else in the family is going to know. So I'm not too concerned about that. Right? 11. One of 11, Julie. Tia's in the chat. Tia is not telling her truth. She's telling big lies. She should never dog out. She should never dog out her children's father ever. I don't know if I consider her dogging out Corey in this. I only watched episode 1 though. I don't know if I would say she's dogging him out. It's not painting him in the best light, but if anything, it's just painting it they weren't a match. I mean, she does have some really reflective moments that I think that could be helpful for a lot of people. Raquel says, to me, they've already had issues even prior to Tamara getting married. It just came to a head when Tamara was getting married, but it didn't just start. It's clear from watching the reality. Oh, yeah. And that's why I said I feel like that particular scene probably was the nail in the coffin, and their relationship was probably never the same. And they just, they because they're sisters and because they're in the public eye, they probably just like, all right, we're just gonna, we'll see each other, but maybe they're not close. I know it's sad because they're twins, but it's okay. Tia's new show is on WeTV. Oh, yeah. Miss Mellon Imagine says, I think them always doing everything together probably got tiring. But they ended up doing separate things and making a career for themselves. Okay, let me just play for you what prompted me to do the video that I did earlier today. So Tia did an interview with the Associated Press. Her body language is quite telling. You see the video in the previous video that I did on YouTube for those that are watching on Instagram. And I thought this was interesting. And shout out to the reporter, because the reporter got her good.
She said that she didn't know that a reality show was coming out. You were doing it. And so Is there a reason why you didn't tell her?
That's normal. I mean, do you tell?
Pause. So when the reporter says to her, so your sister said that she found out about you doing a reality show with everyone else. So, thank you, Mom Life, for buying a badge on Instagram. Tia's body language, she looks up in the air, rolls her eyes like, I'm like, that was quite telling. But take a listen.
She said that she didn't know that a reality show was coming out. You were doing one. So is there a reason why you didn't tell her?
That's normal. I mean, do you tell your brother and your sister everything?
Well, I do tell them anytime I get a new job or something of significance.
You know, it's something that just happens. I mean, I found out something about my brother the other day and he didn't tell me. It's just, I feel like, like I said, it.
Pause. Which brother and what you find out? And if you know, you know. What'd you find out the other day, Tia, about your brother?
We have.
This is significant.
Yeah, but like I said, I think it's normal, for you not to tell everyone everything. It doesn't mean anything, There's nothing loaded, with that, I guess. It is, she's living her life, I'm living my life, we don't have to tell each other everything, and that's very normal.
Justice says he's a nasty little brother that does nasty things. That is our thing now. For those that don't even know what that is a reference to Jaguar, right? We've been adding it to everything. That made me laugh out loud. Her body language in that interview said everything that I needed to. I was just like, oh, so you guys really are not in a good place. Because I really played it off. I was just like, oh, who cares? Everybody's going to make a big thing out of it. They're not probably in the best place, whatever. But the more she talks about it, the more I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? Her body language when she was answering it, the major pauses in her answer to the interviewer, who I appreciated, because he was like, well, when there's major things in my life, I tell my siblings. I was like, oh. Not everyone does, though. In all fairness, not everyone does. But the pauses, she kept on looking up in the air, looking down. She didn't look him in the eyes. I said, this is quite telling. This is quite telling. Hey, Lonnie. Lonnie says, so sad. Life is so short, and I hope they can move past this. Lonnie, aren't you an only child? Let me tell your tea. Aren't you an only child? See, it's the only children that try to chime into the conversation that have no idea what it is like to have siblings. Okay? I'm just saying. Just saying. These only children want to come in and talk about, oh, they need to move past this. You got to get along. Sometimes it's not that easy. And it's probably even harder when someone's your twin, because there is still there's a weird, intrinsic connection between twins. I'm not a twin, but there really is something. That's why you'll see them do things like right now, in the way I'm looking at myself on both of these different cameras. It's like I'm a twin. I always wanted to be a twin. Did I tell you guys that? I always wanted to have a twin. But nope. Wasn't in the cards. My grandmother apparently was a twin, but her twin didn't survive. Right? Terry Lynn is repeating what Justin said. He said that's a nasty little brother that does nasty things. A mess. My mom is a twin and the connection is special. See, I feel like there's a deeper connection. And I think that's why it's sad for the audience that grew up watching these two on a show and then on a reality show and just in their careers. They've really had stellar, very clean careers. So I think that's why it's hurtful for people. Lonnie says it's a connection. It is a connection between twins. My friend, he died in a motorcycle accident, and you can tell his twin brother lost a part of himself forever. Oh, damn. I can't even imagine. Ooh. Tara says, trust and believe being a twin is overrated. Why do you say that? I mean, I guess twins would probably say that too. I mean, look, it is what it is. Kevin, thank you so much for the super chat. Kevin says, this seems like it happens a lot with families that started early in entertainment, i.e. the Braxtons, the Waynes, so many others. It's the industry. I feel like the Waynes are fine. Are you dropping tea, Kevin? Are the Waynes, is there a rift with the Waynes? Is there a rift? It's way too many of them for us to keep up. There's too many of them. Like, which ones aren't getting along? What I can't keep up. I can't keep up. Y'all gonna stop saying someone's behind me. What y'all think this is? Like, I can't see myself. Yeah, I can't keep it. Like, who in the Waynes are not getting along? Let me know. Exactly. Osmond's like, what Waynes don't like each other? Which is very possible. But there's so many of them, it's hard to keep up. Like, wait, are they not getting along? And then if anything, they're not saying things in the public to make us know. Just saying. Tiara says the Waynes seem like a close-knit family. Oh, Lord, are they not? See what you started? Look, see what you started. Maria says, Kim, where are your siblings? Somewhere, I don't know. Look, we don't live close by each other. We're not as close. we are not as close, like literally. Kemp wouldn't be live if he had a man behind him. How you do it? You're right. Just saying. This is family business being aired out. Candace, it's not our fault. She's doing a whole reality show and she said it on her reality show. It's not our fault. Honestly, I didn't even care when she first said it. I was like, whatever. And then she came up with the statement and I was like, But then the interviews this week has got me going, And look, I'm not Team Tia or Team Tamara because in these types of situations, sibling situations, I think a lot of people can be wrong. So we don't know what actually happened. I want to get to the bottom of it though, because now I'm invested. I'm like, wait a minute. So what happened? Honestly, I think it all stems from the wedding, from Tamara's wedding. I think this was probably the nail in the coffin. And they probably have been okay, but they probably were never the same. And watch, now this is going to be the headline for season 2. It's going to be all about their drama. And then she's probably going to pull Tamara in to do the show. And Tamara's going to be like, no, you didn't tell me about the first time. But she probably also doesn't want to do something with her sister. She's been connected to her sister for so long. I mean, they really have made a name for themselves outside of each other. So they probably don't want to do things together. I mean, they could have look at the Olsen twins. The Olsen twins have $1 billion company. Okay? They have $1 billion company. And they have their separate lives, but you always see them together. I don't know if they hate each other though. I don't think so. Look, I don't think so. Ooh, Kanisha says, my twins fight like enemies, but they'll fight you together. But that's like a lot of siblings. That's like a lot of siblings. But look at the Olsen twins. The Olsen twins turned their many years of doing those little movies and things like that together into a very major empire. They took that money and they invested into fashion, a huge fashion line that's now worth like $1 billion. I think that's what we wanted. We wanted from Tia and Tamara. But the Olsen twins never did reality TV either, though. They never gave us an insight into their relationship. Is that Caleb says they are so hush hush we would never know if the Olsen twins are close. But literally, I just saw video footage of them walking together. But they have a business together. But they also have their separate lives. Which one was it? Mary Kate that married that old French man? Now that French man is dating someone else that we know. Who is he dating? He's dating someone else that we know. But they're no longer together. I think all that smoking stunted their growth, though. Just saying. SW says they also played the same, right? Look, if anything, we would understand if the Olsen twins didn't get along. They had one character to play. They never had any individuality until, they started doing their own little movies and things like that. But their major role, they played one person. If anything, they would be mad as hell. Just saying. Arjun, I see you saying I should review House of Villains. I don't like when people tell me what to do. Okay? Aoki was talking about how she doesn't like living in the shadow of her mother, Kimura Lee. I need Aoki to go use her Harvard degree. I see too much. Like every time I see Aoki on social media, I'm like, you went to Harvard? Because the way she speaks, you would think, I'm like, this girl went to Harvard. She probably is brilliant, but not a great orator. Tiara says that's the Taurus in you, not wanting people to tell you what to do. You think people would learn by now? Thank you to Lulu. Aoki seems like she needs therapy. I mean, her father is Russell Simmons, and we did see how he talked to her on FaceTime. Dorian says the Taurus jumped out. I was really holding it in. It's about to be a full moon this week. Oh, God. The Ultimate TV says, did John Stamos take the Olsen twins to a Diddy party? Whoever, like the Olsen twins' parents did a good job with those kids. Because their sister is doing very well as an actress now, too. Very well. Katie says, Aoki's smart. She graduated high school and college early. I don't understand why she's still modeling. I don't mind that she's modeling. I took it as her just, it's easy money for her. But I think she's now in the business where people are like, yeah, okay, you have the body. And yes, your mother's Kimora Lee, but we don't care. Because Kimora Lee is not that girl anymore. And that the industry is not thinking of those people. Sidebar, did you guys see the Victoria's Secret fashion show? And after nearly 20 years, Tyra returned. Some people had some things to say about Tyra's walk. Tyra's walk is legendary. Tyra Banks is legendary. Okay? No matter how we feel about some of the things that Tyra has done on her reality show, Tyra went from being a supermodel to a mogul. Put some respect on her name. We may not like all the things that she said on America's Next Top Model, but she's one of the people that led competition reality television. She was a supermodel. She still has a killer walk that people want to emulate. So Tyra, put some respect on Tyra's name, okay? Unless she was at a Diddy party. No, I'm playing. Unless she was at a Diddy party. The thing is too, like and this is why I think sometimes when you're looking through social media, don't read the comments. I mean, for yourself. I'm not even talking about as a creator. Because as a creator, I really don't. I'll read the first couple comments and I move on. I have too much other stuff to talk about. But when you're going through social media, sometimes it's fun to go through the comments and be like, oh, it's fun. Sometimes the vibe check, they don't pass the vibe check because that will take your whole mood about what you just watched down. The people that were talking about Tyra and like just all this negativity, I was like, let me not even read these comments. Tyra, you did that, girl. Welcome back to hitting the runway. Oh yeah, how old is Tyra's child? I don't know how old Tyra's baby would be right now. Not that big. I hope not. So, but Tyra, look, she was able to have the kid. She was able to still run businesses. Tyra's doing quite okay. And she had a successful talk show twice. Okay. She stays working. He's 8. Aw. Look, aw. Thank you so much, Tiara. Christopher says, welcome back, Tyra. Tyra, the walk banks. Exactly, DD. Some of these models do not even have what Tyra had back in the day. Like, no one's talking about these other models and their walk. That's why literally Naomi Campbell is still able to slay a catwalk because there are no other women doing that. Yes, there are other, top models that we know, like the Bellas and the GGs and stuff like that. But no one's talking about emulating their walk. They learned from Naomi. So the era of supermodels is over. So put some respect on Tyra. She was the last of a dying breed. Just saying. Just saying. Julie says Tyra is the OG. And look, no one's perfect either. And I think back when Tyra did her reality show, because a lot of people like to criticize her for how she handled the reality show. I think the reality show was actually real. That is what the standard was in modeling. Wasn't right, but that's like, there's a lot of stuff that happening in the modeling world that wasn't right, but they're not going to be held accountable because there is no actual video documentary about it, like America's Next Top Model. Maria says Tyra is super popular. And Victoria's Secret saved her career. She talks about it. It saved her career because she was leaving because she was getting bigger. She was getting a little top heavy and she was gaining some weight. So she really couldn't be that high-end model anymore. So she leaned into working with Victoria's Secret. So that was like, we've seen her progression from a young model, supermodel, and then into Victoria's Secret model, and then this mogul. Like, these are the people that you should be looking at that you should emulate, because you literally see how they transformed their career. We were just talking about this with the Diddy of it all. Some people were talking about how it was Bow Wow talking about, oh my God, he used to throw the best parties and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, he didn't show you how to become a mogul himself, though. Did he? Look, did he? Justin says, bring back America's Next Top Model without the race swapping. Oh my God, I remember that. Look, there were some cringy moments. There were some cringy moments back in the day. Oh, I agree. Theo says America's Top Model with Rita Ora was weird. They still trying to make Rita Ora a thing, and I just am not falling for it. Even though I do like some Rita Ora music, don't get me wrong. But Rita Ora as a commentator, Rita Ora as an actress, no. Oswald says, I don't think you can have a Tyra and not have cringe. I mean, she's done some cringy things over the years. Remember her daytime talk show too. There were some cringy moments. Maria says Diddy needs to write a book. He can from jail. And we won't read it. Is America's Next Top Model streaming anymore? I'm sure you can watch it somewhere, but the new version is no longer on. She still owns it, though. She still owns the brand. And I think it might be international still. Like they still have international versions. Arjun says, anyone else miss Married to Medicine? It comes back in December. Julie says, yes, on Hulu. Oh, yeah, because the new version was on Hulu. So probably the old episodes are on Hulu. I don't know. Would I watch it again? You know who looks good? Nigel Barker. You remember Nigel, the photographer on America's Next Top Model? He looks amazing. All of them look amazing. What was the other one? The creative director's name. Oh, I can't think of his name. Oh, it's like on the tip of my tongue. You guys will remind me. He looks amazing, too. Oh, and Jay Alexander. Looks good. I mean, that nose job, but the nose job is giving of the time, because that was the nose job a lot of people were getting in the 90s. It was like that one doctor was giving everyone the same nose job. But other than that, like his style, like he still looks really good. Like his body, he kept his body going. Okay. Right. Look, he looks good though. I have to give it to him. He keeps showing up on my timeline. I'm like, it's like he hasn't changed. Jay has not changed. Nigel Barker looks amazing. He keeps showing up on my feed too. Rest in peace to Andre Leon Talley. They need to do something in regards to a biopic in regards to him. They need to do something. Jocelyn says Law Roach has been chatty lately. Well, Law Roach just put out a book, so that's part of the reason why. So if you see them starting me chatty, it's because they are promoting something. So Law Roach has a new book. I almost went to the 92nd Street Y to see his talk about it, but I forgot. And I like to stay in the house. All right, let's wrap this up because I've been talking a lot and we started this conversation, but I felt like it was a natural progression. I hope you guys enjoy our intimate lives like this. Be sure to check out some of the ones that you may have missed. You can hear some of them on our Kempire podcast, but you can see all of them on YouTube. So those that are watching on Instagram, head on over to YouTube and subscribe there. And subscribe to the Kempire Podcast and give us a 5-star rating if you haven't on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. All right, Q&A. What do you guys... Should I drop the call-in link? Let me drop the call-in link real quick. Just in case any of you want to call in and share your thoughts. Hold on one second. I'm going to drop the call-in link and see if you guys want to share your thoughts and opinions on the Tamera Mowry of it all. Tia and Tamara situation. Hold on. Let me go here and let me drop the call-in link here. Okay. All right. Because sometimes you guys will convince me, and you don't have to agree with me when you call in if you're new here. Okay. You don't have to agree with me. Those that are watching on Instagram, if you want to call in and say, hey, Lonnie, thank you. If you want to call in, head on over to our YouTube channel for the call-in link. For those that are watching on YouTube, I did link a couple of Tia's products from Walmart. He has some cooking products and things like that. So be sure to check that out. Miss Dogan says that, oh, I'm missing your comments. Miss Dogan says, Kemp, you up late, ain't it? This is pretty late, but I'm about to take a shower and go to bed. Sugar, girl, I'm gonna give you a timeout because I don't know why people come in here to be negative. Obviously, you have a problem. Okay. Jocelyn says, I stopped buying her stuff when she stopped selling the vitamins. Why? Look, why? Why did you stop buying her stuff? I saw that. I didn't realize she had stuff that she was selling. Justin says she was weird. Yes, very, very weird. Really? I didn't know she was selling vitamins. Oh, Sweet Toya says Teal was in Jamaica trying to be Stella. Are you dropping tea? Every once in a while, we get trolls. Every once in a while, I have to say, it's very rare that we get a lot, especially when we're talking about, especially when it's a subscribers only. So obviously that person was a subscriber. Like, why are you coming in here to be hateful? You're about to get more than blocked. Okay. That's a good question. You know, Tamara Judge, I was going to talk more about this when we do a Real Housewives of Orange County recap, because that's the big story today, that Tamara Judge from Real Housewives of Orange County said that her therapist diagnosed her as having autism. So a lot of people have been weighing in and slamming Tamara. Feel like, are you just looking for an excuse for your bad behavior? Honestly, as someone that has worked with children with autism and a variety of the spectrum, it doesn't work like that, Tamara. And I think Tamara is just a liar, so it's hard to even believe that her therapist said that, because she knows her therapist can't come out and say, no, she doesn't. That's not what I said, because they can't do that. So I don't know if I believe her either. So, and the fact that she would even play with something like that says all that I need to know. Says all that I need to know in regards to Tamara Judge. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me just pin. I'm going to pin the call-in link. Let me just pin the call-in link, and we're going to take just a couple of callers. Hold on. Again, guys, I pinned the call-in link on YouTube for those that are watching on Instagram. Let me go here. All right. Miss April's backstage. We're going to bring Miss April up. I can't speak. Miss April up first. She wants to weigh in. Miss April, what did you want to share in regards to what we've been talking about?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes. I just wanted to say I like you, Kempire, and I like the way that you use your psychology viewpoints and stuff, and very professional speaking. And I like the way you use your platform as well. And I would like to say that Tia and Tamara, just like any other family dynamic, you grow apart. You know, we're not in their personal lives, so we don't know what's behind the cameras, but we never know. I've had to disown a lot of my family members once I, started taking therapy and psychology myself, and they were just narcissistic, and I had to let them go. And I also wanted to say that I love that you are a Taurus. My daughter's a Taurus. I love you, Tauruses. If y'all out there.
You.
Yes, I'm a Pisces, but I love my Tauruses and Cancers. But I just wanted to say that, and keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep watching.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you calling me in.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye. Yes, the Taurus love. Shout out to all the Tauruses. Guys, do me a favor. Drop your astrological sign in the chat. Let me know who's watching. I know we have a lot of Pisces that watch. We have a lot of Virgos that watch. We have quite a few Tauruses that watch. I really wonder what the astrological stats are for my page. Oh, we got a lot of Pisces. We got Aquarius, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, Virgo, Leo. We got a lot of Aquarius in here. Taurus, Cancer, Sagittarius. OMG, Gemini. We got a lot of Aquarius in here. Libra, Sagittarius. Okay. Some Sagittarius are in here. Got a lot of Pisces too. A lot of Libras. Okay, some Scorpios. I should do a community survey. They just don't give you enough options to do the entire astrological signs. But the only thing with the doing community thing, you can't just do it for subscribers. It's open to the entire public. So it's not going to be 100%. We got a lot of Aquarius in here today. Wow. Aries, Capricorn, Pisces, Gemini, Cancers. Okay. We got a lot. Aries, what's going on? Okay, Geminis, Scorpios. Cindy says you could split up the surveys. I know I probably will do that, but like I said, I feel like it's not going to be 100% accurate because I wish YouTube allowed you to just do community tab surveys just for your subscribers. You can only do it just for like members and then the public, which defeats the purpose. I would love to do just subscriber surveys. Do it on Twitter or Instagram. Oh, that's an idea. But a lot of you don't follow me on Twitter. Look, and I'm active on Twitter. I'm active on all the social media stuff. All right. Let me get to another caller, guys. I did drop the call link, guys, for you to weigh in on any of what we talked about. But the main conversation that we've been discussing is the Tia and Tamera possible rift. Okay. All right. Why does Instagram say I have like 1 minute remaining? Really? Is that what they're doing? I'm a verified account. They don't allow you to stay on as long as you want to stay on Instagram. What's that about? So for those that are watching on Instagram, head on over to our YouTube channel for those that might have missed out. Okay. Head on over there. That way you don't, Cosmo says Instagram kicks you out. Is that something new? Because I remember they used to do that, but they're doing that again. Y'all got 40 seconds. Head on over to my YouTube channel. What in the hell? Miss Mellow Magic says, wait, Instagram got limit child, but the ghetto, right? See, this is why I don't come on Instagram. Y'all are nothing but a problem. But shout out to all of you that were watching on Instagram. No 1 hour? I feel like I've done an hour before. Maybe I haven't. I don't remember. Run on over to YouTube. I'm still here, y'all. We're about to bring up Razan in two seconds. All right. Anita says, I'm on YouTube too, watching you. Thank you, Anita. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye, Instagram. It really ended the live, y'all. Whoa, Instagram. They are crazy. All right, let me bring up Razan next. Razan, what did you want to share in regards to this?
Hi. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you so much for entertaining us daily and keeping us informed about what's going on in the entertainment world. Well, I just wanted to weigh in a little bit about the Tia and Tamera situation. The only thing that I wanted to say specifically was I remember the wedding, since we were talking about Tamera's wedding. Yeah. I do remember Tia being heavily pregnant at the time. And I don't think I was like an avid viewer of the show, but I do remember that specifically. Yeah. And maybe it was because my sister-in-law was pregnant at or around the same time. And I remember she had such a difficult time. And I remember a lot of times I would try to like drag her around the city with me. You know, we live in New York, we live in Brooklyn, and I would try to drag her around the city. And I think at one point she kind of told me like, I am just not up to this. And so when I was watching the show, that kind of always stood out in my mind that, maybe the things that her sister were asking her to do, it's not that she was unwilling. It was probably just that she was unable. And so I think that that's another thing that I was saying too, was that the whole thing with the best friend and the maid of honor and the matron of honor, I can see where the waters kind of got murky and how feelings were hurt, for both of them, of course. But it would have been so awkward for me as the best friend to accept the role of the maid of honor or the matron of honor if it would have caused the rift. Like I would have still, bear the burden of doing this and doing that and doing this, but I don't need the accolades. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need the recognition. Like I'll do the running around. I'll do the this, I'll do the that. I'll, wear the dress, be in the pictures, do this. But I just wouldn't want to come between family kind of thing. So
And my thing is, too, she knew that Tia was pregnant as well.
Right. But I think that there's a difference. Are you talking about Tamara?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that there's a difference between like knowing and then like actually being pregnant yourself. I've never been pregnant. And so and at the time, Tamara had never been pregnant. And so that's what I was saying too about my sister-in-law and wanting to, drag her all over the city. I think that unless, and people who have been pregnant can speak on it, unless you've been in the situation and those people know what toll that takes on their body. And especially if it's a particularly difficult pregnancy. And I do know that Tia has struggled with I think it's endometriosis or something like that. So again, I don't know if that makes her pregnancies even more difficult. I don't know. I'm speculating.
Yeah. But do you think that particular incident that happened so long ago changed your relationship up until this point?
But to be completely honest, no. I'm gonna. I don't think so. I think it's probably a culmination of things. I think it's probably a whole bunch of here and there. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's true that sometimes people grow apart, and I think that it's true that people can be in different seasons, and you can be going through something that requires you to grow alone. Mm-hmm. Like you can be, and especially because like we've said before, for a long time, especially with siblings, it's true, but with twins, it rings even more true that a lot of times they kind of see themselves as one. And mm-hmm. So I think that what Tia is going through is something that Tamara can't relate to. And that's so cool.
And it's funny because someone in the chat said, I think they made up after that scene. And after Tamara got pregnant, she kind of understood where Tia was coming from.
Right.
Not that we want Tamara to go through a divorce, but maybe this is another instance where Tamara just can't relate.
Right. I think that's absolutely true. I don't think that was even a catalyst to be completely true. I think that they are just in different seasons. I think that Tamara I think they have different values, and I think that they have just grown to appreciate different things in life.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, we all wish them the best, right? Our favorite twins.
I don't know about the rest of the chat, but I know you and I do.
Yeah.
The other chat, they're like, burn them at the stake. No.
No, we all wish them the best. They're our favorite twins. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great night.
You too. Bye. I saw a comment that I wanted to mention. Hold on. Jaseline, I agree. Jaseline says this would make a good Christmas movie. No shade. I agree. And they should do it together. Daisy Bella says siblings grow apart, but the way Tia brings it up is very weird. Yeah, I mean, the way she handles the questions is a little weird. It's not believable. Jaseline, I agree. Let's get it done. But then, Tia is going to be like, I don't want to do it. Come on. Let's do it. No, I want to put it on Netflix. I don't want to do a Hallmark movie. I want it on a major streaming platform. I know Hallmark is big, but I want it on a major streaming platform like Netflix. I love a good Christmas movie. They're usually really corny, but I think this would be a cute one where the twins grow apart and then they come back. Oh, a sister Christmas. Come on. 11/11, make a wish. Okay, I made my wish. Did you make your wish, y'all? All right, we're going to take another caller. We're going to bring Christy up. You're calling into the Kempire hotline. Christy, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing tonight?
I'm great. I was the one in the chat that was saying it's Adam's fault.
You know what, Christy? Do you really believe that?
Say that again?
Do you really believe that?
You know what? I think I'm a twin. And my twin sister, like me and my twin sister were like Nigerian American. We grew up watching Sister Sister. So I feel like I'm really protective of Tia and Tamara. I think that they're so different, and we have to let's be real. Race may slightly play a role. This guy used to work on Fox News. And I feel like I do believe watching the second episode of Tia's show that she's just not fond of Adam. And I feel like maybe Adam may be keeping Tamara around, like maybe not letting her see her sister as much because he might feel they're so close. If she hangs around her and helps her through this divorce, she might get ideas of divorce. They're so close. Maybe you know what? Maybe she might take ideas in. That's what I think. That's what I feel.
The second episode, I was literally just about to start the second episode, but then I said I was coming live. So I said,
I actually like the way she's doing this show. The second episode was basically her, she had her wedding ring and she didn't want to get rid of it. So what she did was she took her wedding ring and went to an LA jeweler and he basically made pieces for her children. So like necklace, bracelet.
Her sister her assistant in the first episode wanted her to burn her wedding dress as some sort of symbolism. And she's like, I don't want to burn my wedding dress.
She did say that. She was like, that's kind of drastic.
And I felt like, okay, you're doing a little too much here. I was like, even me, because I was like, she has a daughter. She might want to pass it on to her daughter that she shared with Corey. So I was like,
I see that. But what I see her doing is maybe making something else out of the dress.
She did say that.
Because I really feel like the marriage was really bad. Like I mean, come on, if we watch, let's be real. A lot of times when they would do that Black love marriage live, I mean, Corey seemed very disinterested. He did not seem like he was in love with her, not really making eye contact, even kind of sometimes giving her an attitude. When she said that I made a mistake a few years into her marriage, she meant like 2 years and she knew she made a mistake.
Is that what you gathered?
That's what I gathered. Come on, watching them from since I was a kid, being a twin, I can see she's like, okay.
But second year marriage for how many years?
20 more years. Well, she comes from a very old-fashioned family. She said it herself on the second episode. She's like, divorce is not something that we do. So I was really trying to make it work for our children. And that makes a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense. So I'm just very happy that she's on this journey. I am proud of her. I mean, I'm happy that she had the guts to say, I don't want to remain in an unhappy marriage. I want to get out of this. I want to do something for myself. And she says in the second episode, like, this is new waters for me. Like, people have to remember Corey and I started dating when I turned 21. We met when I was 20. So he's the only guy I know. So this is new to me. So a lot of people saying online she needs to go back to Corey. I don't understand that. Why would someone go back to a marriage that she told you was miserable? It was loveless.
Yeah.
There was nothing going on. So
a lot of people aren't paying attention to the facts of the situation. And a lot of people have their own pitiful lives that, like, we don't know what their pitiful lives look like, but they're like, go back to being unhappy.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. And watch, she will end up finding the love of her life if she has it ready.
She will. And I thought it was me and my girl were talking about the fact that she said she likes a grill. She says she likes a little hood. I was like, oh, Tia, really? You like a little hood? Okay. I don't know if that makes me laugh.
Let's pick him up from the bus stop this time.
No, okay. And thank you. And let's make sure he doesn't take his grill off during dinner and put it on the table. You heard her say that. You heard her say that. Oh, but the last thing I want to say, Corey, did you catch in the first episode how she said that Corey, there was, what is that event she went to, like a women's event? And she said she's been going for years and Corey never went. Now, come on. I mean, it was shade, but I'm like, Corey, are you low-key stalking her?
Do you think that's what it was? Or he knew that, okay, maybe stalker is probably the right term because he knew that she always goes to these events.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, why were you not going with your wife, but now you're going? Are you going to kind of say, oh, now I'm going to come? And it almost looked like he was kind of low-key checking up on her, trying to see if she was going to come with somebody. It was a little weird, but, thank you so much for all that you do and everything.
Thank you, Christy. Christy, as a twin, though,
go ahead.
How does your twin feel about the separation that's going on? Like, oh, wait, are you close with your twin?
Okay, I'll say we're close. We cool, but we not Tia and Tamara close. No, we're not.
And was that something just from the beginning? You guys were never really tight like that?
I'm going to be honest. I felt like me and my twin sister were really close when we were like elementary school, middle school. But once you reached high school, we kind of, it was just a lot of, I was a daddy's girl. I was kind of a really close daddy's girl, and my sister was not as close as my dad to my dad, and my parents were going through a separation. So I feel like it kind of started there. But now, we live in DC. My sister she works in the medical field. I work in the news field. And I just feel like, it's good like this. It's good like this. Like, we will communicate, we will chat. We won't always get together. Part of it is schedule. But I will say, like, if we have to see each other, communicate, we will do it. But we're definitely not as close as Tia and Tamara. We and
allegedly as Tia and Tamara, because we're not too sure right now.
Well, and I will say that right now, I believe they're not talking at all. They're not talking at all, and I really feel like Tamara's in her motherly, wifely duties. They live in Napa. They own a winery. That's what she spends her time doing if she doesn't have another gig doing a show. Tia's single.
And she made a good coin. Let's not forget that Tamara made a good coin doing the daytime talk show, and she could really probably retire off of what she made on daytime talk.
She absolutely can. She absolutely can. And her husband, even though he was working with Fox News, I think he said his parents. I forgot what he said. His parents, the industry that Adam's father, came from. But Adam kind of grew up with money himself, so it looks like both of them will be fine.
So she's living a comfortable life in a whole other part of California.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, you're a perfect example of you have a twin and you guys aren't necessarily the closest.
And we live in the same damn city.
Do you guys have kids?
Oh, no, we don't. Neither of us have kids yet. Our birthday's actually next Wednesday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. We're like first day Scorpio. So we both don't have kids, but it's almost like, even though we don't see each other all the time, when we get together, it's a huge hug, a big kiss, and we just nonstop chatty. So our mom's birthday is the day before ours, so we all going to dinner, and we're all going to get together. So it's almost like a Tia and Tamara thing. When we get together, it feels good. We love each other. We catch up. My sister is there when I need her. I was in the hospital 2 weeks ago. She came, stayed with me for hours. Like, we're close. And I understand our schedules, but we not like, let's last minute, let's link up and do this. Let's link up and do that. We have very different sets of friends.
Okay. And you said do you guys plan possibly in the future to have children, maybe get married?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We definitely plan to have children and get married. But, in DC, some of these brothers.
I've been finding out they want me to come down and do the speed dating for you guys.
Oh, my God. Okay. First of all, Kempire, please come down and do that. And let's do it. Bring some fine men. I will say, in DC, being the nation's capital, we have a lot of good looking men coming from like cities like Houston. I'm originally from Boston. So, we have some brothers coming down from there, coming from the South, coming from Chicago. So a lot of them live in the PG County, Maryland area, but the city itself, we need some more speed dating, because I've been to some speed dating in DC. It'd be like a group of girls and 2 guys. It's like, okay.
Oh.
What are we going to do with this? And the guys are so shy, like, we're the fine brothers.
I'm a good wingman. So we're going to pop in when I come back.
And I'm going to follow you on Twitter as well.
Yes, please do. I'm always tweeting. I'm active on all the socials, y'all.
Okay, good.
Right. Good. Christy, thank you so much for calling in. And when I do come back down, you should bring your sister.
I will. Oh, I'm going to let her know right ASAP.
Have a great night, Christy. Thank you for calling in.
You too. Thank you, Kempire. Bye.
Bye. I love it because I wanted the twin perspective. So I appreciate Christy calling in and sharing her perspective. We have Jess backstage. We're going to take another caller, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to kempireradio.com.